This is Semach Yehuda Richter. I'm showing you headlines of an article which was appearing in the daily bulletin from the Jewish Telegraphic Agency dated March 5th, 1940, discussing the book that I mentioned in previous videos related to Rabbi S.I. Levin. This was the way it appeared in its original form from the Jewish Telegraphic Agency's newsletter, and it's very hard to read in this format. I'm trying to focus on it for you, but instead of doing that, I will just briefly summarize what it says. This is a second major headline from the bottom of this page. So if you permit me to read, I'm going to read it and try to summarize it very quickly. It says, the University of Minnesota Press today published the Kosher Code of the Orthodox Jew, a literal translation of that portion of the 16th century codification of the Babylonian Talmud. It then goes on to tell us that that Rabbi S.I. Levin, senior rabbi of Minneapolis, and Edward A. Boyden, professor of anatomy at the University of Minnesota, were the co-authors. Then finally it says, an introductory note by Rabbi Levin expresses the hope that the volume will be of use not only to theological students, but to everyone who's interested in these dietary laws and their origins in the culture of ancient Israel. And then it issues another sentence which says, Professor Boyan describes the translation as a contribution to the field of medical history. So the key point from all this is that it said it was published today on the 4th of March, 1940. Now, please pay attention. I cannot focus very well on this last paragraph, which has got a heading on it, and there's only 3 lines, but I will read it to you. It reads as follows. The Lubavitch Rebbe Joseph Schneerson, famous Polish Jewish Hasidic leader, to fly to Stockholm with his family today and then sail for the United States. So in my view, we have an interesting connection. The same day that Rabbi Levin's book that he co-authored, that I knew, that I actually went to him many, many times to ask many shilas to get some guidance as to how I was going to conduct myself after returning from the United States Army Reserve. That book that he published was published the same day that the Frierdiker Rebbe, the Rebbe that we knew as the Frierdiker Rebbe, named Rebbe Yosef Yitzhak Schneerson, left Europe. Now I'm showing you another headline from the Chabad site called Chabad Lubavitch News. The headline reads that 7 decades after the Rebbe's U.S. arrival, world Jewry thrives. The picture you are looking at is the boat that the last Lubavitch Rebbe, the Rebbe that we all knew, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, was called the SS Serpa Pinto. The boat was called the Serpa Pinto, and it carried thousands of Jews, including Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson and Rebbe Sanhaya Mushka. And the date it shows is 1941, that boat came. The third paragraph in this article says that because he came with his family members and he made it to his new home in New York, he tried in vain to, this is talking about the Frierdiker Rebbe, the 6th Rebbe that came from Europe, He tried to procure documents and information to save those he knew who were trapped in Europe, but they were Polish citizens and Poland would not grant them exit visas. Furthermore, the State Department refused to intervene on their behalf in the conflagration of World War II. The sixth Rebbe, therefore, was unsuccessful even with his own daughter and son-in-law. Rabbi Menachem and Shana Hornstein, who lived in Otwock on the outskirts of Warsaw, they perished in Treblinka. This is information I never really paid attention to until I did this research. I went back and saw the relationship between Rabbi Levin's book and the day that the Rebbe, the Frierdiker Rebbe, came to America. And I want to tell you that affects me. And going back to my family, it affects me because my family also originated from that area. And I want to explain in the upcoming video.